Hello, I'm gonna talk about the differences between acrylic bikinis and also cotton bikinis, because today I was swimming around with my cotton bikini on and then I was like, you know what, I should make a video about this. This is something really important you should know if you're considering selling bikinis, because it took me a lot of trial and error to get to a point where I'm comfortable with selling them. I have no issue with making the top. My issue was making bottoms, because sometimes it would have too many gaps and it would be kind of see-through, or the pom-pom area was too short and some things were out. And personally, if I don't feel comfortable wearing my own bikini in my own house, I do not feel comfortable selling it. So it took me a lot of trial and errors to perfect a bottoms that I like and I feel comfortable enough to sell. If you're gonna use acrylic to make your bikinis, keep in mind that acrylic absorbs a lot of water and it stretches out also. I learned that the hard way. So the bikini I'm wearing right now is the first bikini I ever wore. So before I jumped in the pool, this is like what the cup size looked like, and look how the acrylic bikini stretched out to be. Same things with the bottoms. The bottom stretched out double the size. It literally gives you like a diaper look type of feel. Like it absorbs so much water, the butt sags, and it's just not attractive. And obviously, if I have to adjust it a million times to even to wear it in my own house, I'm not gonna sell it. I love using acrylic, and I did multiple trial and errors trying to make a comfortable bikini that doesn't stretch out with acrylic, and most of the attempts failed. This is the first ever bikini I ever made. It was with a 5mm, and you can see that like super stretchy. For the acrylic bikinis, I used a 5, a 4, and a 3mm. I did single crochets, I did half double crochets, but I still kept having the issue where it kept stretching when it was getting wet. So I decided to do some research, and then that's when I found out that bamboo yarn and cotton work best for bikinis. With cotton, it's super lightweight and it doesn't stretch. This is currently wet and you can see that it's maintaining its shape, and it's also like obviously wash and dryer safe, because I've put them in there and they bounce back like nothing. But when I put this in the dryer, oh my god, it stretched out again. Like using acrylic for bikinis is just not, it's not good. But if you're considering selling acrylic bikinis, you have to state that they're just for pictures, like they are dry wear only, and that you cannot use them in the water because it's going to stretch and it's going to ruin. But to avoid all that miscommunication and malfunction, just make cotton bikinis. Cotton is a little bit smaller than acrylic, and it took me a couple tries to get used to it and knowing what type of hook or stitch was working best for me. Like I said earlier, cotton doesn't stretch as much and it's also lightweight, but it's a little bit smaller. So I did a bikini with cotton with a 5mm. I was having like the gap issue, but the stretching issue was gone, and I really liked that. But the bottoms for that bikini I made, the pom-pom was too small and half of it was out, and you have to keep practicing until you get it. So then I decided to make myself a birthday bikini, and I loved it. It is pink single crochets, 3.75mm crochet hook, no gaps, no stretch. It was perfect. But then I personally do not like working with single crochets, so I was trying to experiment. What other hook size can I use that is smaller than 3.75 that I can make a half double crochet with little to no gaps? And I landed on using a 3mm crochet hook size. So you can see that there's little to no gaps, and I really like this. Watching YouTube tutorials on how to make bikini bottoms were not helpful to me at all, especially since I'm a very hands-on learner. So I decided to buy some bikini bottoms that you could untie, and that's what I used as a guide for this one. And this was made with a 3.5mm crochet hook. If I used a 3, there would be less gaps, but the gaps aren't really noticeable once you have them on, and the pom-pom area is perfect. and I really like these bottoms, and I'm very comfortable with how cheeky they are. And once I perfect these, I'm going to make a video about them. So anyways, that's all I have to say. Cotton works best. Acrylic is really good if you're just using it to sit there and look pretty, but cotton is where it's at, and it's swimmable. So I'm gonna show you guys both of these in the water. Before I go in, I just wanted to show you guys how many gaps this has and how many knots I have placed here. Every once in a while, I always like readjust it because it's always stretching out. Personally, I do not feel comfortable showing you guys how much my bottoms are sagging right now, but you guys have to trust my word. Like I said earlier, it absorbs so much water, and like it sags so much, like it looks like I have a full diaper. But that is the only issue with acrylic, is just it stretches out and absorbs a lot of water. So these are the acrylic bikinis. Right after I took them off, you can see that like it absorbs a lot of water, and look how stretched out the cup is. With my cotton bikini, it absorbs a lot less water than acrylic does, and you can see right away that it's not stretching even when it's wet. And then when I squeeze it, there's barely any water coming out even though I just dipped. And that's why cotton or bamboo yarn is really good for bikinis. This is cotton. As soon as I took it off, it maintained its shape, and there's little to no water, and also minimal stretching.